Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dante's Purgatorio. I do hope you are prepared. Grab some food, some hot chocolate, coffee, water, anything you prefer to drink, really. And allow us to journey back into the world of Dante. Canto 13. We now were at the summit of the stair, the mountain there, which, as one climbs, takes ill away, is chiseled back a second time. And so there's here a ledge around the slope, which binds it as the first ledge also did. Except that now the arc curves faster in. 1 second, I feel like the music's too loud. It's not too loud, but I want it more as like a ambient background, less of a in-your-face kind of deal. There we go. Shade? There's none here, nor any sign to see. The cliffs show bare, the path looks shorn of marks, save only for its stone of liverish blue. I fear, the poet said, considering this, our choice of route may well be long delayed. If we wait here for someone we can ask. Firmly, he fixed his eyes towards the sun. He made a fulcrum of his right-hand side, and moved his left around that central point. You, sweetest light, entrusting you I now, he said, embark upon this strange new road. Guide us, as guidance must be here required. You warm the world, you shine out over it. Your rays, where counter reasons have no weight, must always lead with their authority. The distance of a mile, as earth miles count. We traveled now from where we'd been before, our wills so quick, and little time at all. Then, unseen, flying towards us now were heard, the voices of spirits, all delivering a courteous welcome to the feast of love. The first voice, fleeting past, declared aloud, Venum non habent. Look, they have no wine. And then went on behind us, echoing that. And then, before it wholly was not heard, so distancing, another voice went by, declared, I'm Orestes, and did not stay. Father, I said, what voices can these be? And as I asked, there came, just look, a third saying, love those by whom you suffer harm. This confine scourges, my good teacher said, the sin of envious hate, and so the skeins that form the stinging lash vibrate with love. The bridle will elicit different notes, and these, I think, as far as I can tell, you'll hear before you reach the pardon pass. But fix your eyes intently through the air, you'll see some people sitting there ahead, each in their place along the mountain wall. My eyes far wider than before. I looked, and saw in front of us a group of shades. Their cloaks and hue no different from the rock, and when we were a little further on, I heard them calling, Mary, pray for us. Michael, they cried. Saint Peter, all the saints. I can't believe that anyone on earth could be so hard that pity at the sight that I saw now would not have pierced him through. For when at last I'd come up close to them and saw for certain what these people did, I spurted from my eyes the milk of grief. A poor hair shirt appeared to blanket each. Each let the other lean against his side, and all were let to lean against the cliff. In that same way, the blind, for lack of things, stand begging for their needs on pardon days, the head of one bent low above the next, to gain from others pity for their plight. Not only through the sound of their sad words, but also through the sight which ached no less. And as the sun grants nothing to the blind, so to the shadows that I speak of now, the light of heaven bestowed no generous ray, for all their eyelids, pierced by iron wires, were sewn up like an untamed sparrow hawk's, when, restively, it won't keep calm and still. To me, it seemed an outrage to walk by, seeing those others who did not see me. And so I turned to where wise counsels were. He knew full well what, mute, I meant to say. And so he did not wait to hear my words. Speak out, he said, but briefly to the point. Virgil beside me took the outer strip, where, since there is no verge to garland it, one might too easily have tumbled down. While on my other side, in constant prayer, was squeezed a press of tears to wince and bathe their cheeks. To these I turned, you who are confident. So I began, to see the light supreme, which your desires are set upon alone. May grace soon clarify the scum that blows your conscience, and let the streams of mine descend. With all of memory's power, through you once more, tell me, I'd hold your answer very dear. If any soul among you is Italian, it may, if I hear that, go well for him. We are, dear brother, now all citizens of one true place. But you must mean, who winged his pilgrim life through Italy? This, in reply, I seemed to hear proceed from somewhere just ahead of where I stood. So further on I made my voice be heard. Among the rest, I saw a shadow seem to wait as though to say to me, well, how? Tilting its chin up as the sightless do. Spirits, I said, you train yourself to rise. If you are the one who just replied to me, then make it known. Tell me your name and place. I, so the answer came, was Senence, and I here repair the wicked life I led, weeping so he will grant himself to us. Sapia, though not sapient, I was called, and I, to witness other people's harm, felt joy far more than at my own good luck. Listen, don't think that there is more deceit. Was I, then sinking down my arc of years, as crazy as I've said I was or not? My fellow saints, near Coal Cliff, were joined in battle with their enemies. And God, I prayed, would do what he then did. routed here, shattered, they turned in bitter footfalls of flight. And, seeing them hunted, sheer happiness seized me, beyond compare. So great, I turned my reckless face on high, yelling at God, I'll fear you nevermore, just like the blackboard in a sunny spell. Then, coming to the utmost edge of life, I sought my peace with God, and even now, my dues would not, in penance, have been paid. Had I not been remembered in the prayers that Peter Pitanio so devoutly made in heartfelt charity on my behalf. But who are you to make your way around here inquiring as to us? With still, I'm sure, your eyes unbound and breathing when you speak. My eyes, I said, will only briefly here be taken from me, for the harm is small that they, pursuing envy, might have done. Far greater fear holds sway within my soul, of tortured suffered on the ridge below. The burdens of that place already press, and she, who then has led you up to us, when you are certain that you'll head back down. This one, I said, with me who speaks no word, I am alive. And so please ask of me, you chosen spirit, if you'd have me move my living tread on earth to serve your needs. Well, that's, she said, a strange new things to hear, a great sign of the love God bears to you. Do help me sometimes when you say your prayers. I beg of you, by that for which you yearn, if you should ever tread on Tuscan soil. Make my name good for those most near to me. You'll find them with that empty-headed crown, whose hopes are set on Talamon's port. They'll lose more there than tracing Diane's source. The ventures, though, will come off such the worse. Wow, he's actually rhyming in this one. Last time he wasn't really rhyming in any of them. He just kind of was just talking. He was kind of like, fuck having a rhythm. Though, before we get on to the next canto, I realized I forgot to grab my water again. I really need to stop forgetting to grab my water. So yes, I will be right back, and then we'll read the next canto. I am back, and this time with Aqua. Ow. I hit my hand. But yes, I am back with Aqua, and now we are able to return back to the next canto. Canto 14. Who's this one here who's circling round our hill? Before death's given him the right to fly, opening his eyes and closing them at will. I don't know who, but no, he's not alone. You ask since you are closer up to him, and treat him gently so he'll speak to us. Two spirits, each one leaning on the next, thus talked about me on the right-hand side, then laid their hands back to have words with me. And one now said, "O you, that soul who goes, still fixed in mortal limb, towards the sky, gives us, in charity, some ease and say, what places you're from, and who it is you are, you make us marvel at the grace you've gained. As much as must be at things never known, and I, through Tuscany, a ranging stream cuts down from Falterona, where it's born. Its course not sated for 100 miles. I bring this body from that river's bank. There'd be no point in saying who I am. My name, as yet, produces no great sound. If, in my thoughts, I swoop on what you mean. He then replied to me, the force to speak. But why, you are, I take it, talking of the Arno. But why, the other asked, did he then hide the name that designates that flowing stream, as people do with something that they dread? To which, in offering a due reply, that shade force questioned answer, I don't know. It's right, though, that valley's name should die. For from its origin, where those sheer hills, Pelorus was dissolved from that chain, that breed more streams than many others do. Down to the estuary, where yet once more it pays back with the skies dry from the sea. Rivers derive their onward spath from that. Virtue is fled by all, an enemy, a hateful snake, either because that place is fated so, or pierced by wickedness. The people dwelling in that wretched vale are changed in nature to the point at which it seems that Circe might provide their swill. Through brute swine, firstly, who far more deserve acorns for food than any human dish, it points the channel of its maigre path. Then, coming down, it lights on mongrel dogs, snarling far worse than ever they can bite. Ah, perfect. A bedtime story. Yes. Please, sit down. Relax. Grab a cup of hot cocoa. Grab some water, Gatorade, coffee, the blood of the innocent. Whatever type of drink you drink. Maybe grab a little snack. Maybe fluff your pillow and lay your head down on it. And listen as we journey through Purgatory. But yes, hello, daughter. It is good to see you. I'm lying down because I know feel good. Oh, I'm sorry, daughter. Get some rest if you have to. Lay down, fluff your pillow. Hug a plushie. Do whatever you must, and I hope you feel better soon. The people dwelling in that wrecked vale are changed in nature to the point at which it seems that Circe might provide their swill. Through brute swine, firstly, who far more deserve acorns for food than any human dish, it points the channel of its maigre path. Then, coming down, it lights on mongrel dogs, snarling far worse than ever they can bite. From these it turns its snout in high disdain. So ever downwards, and the more it swells, so much the more does this accursed ditch hit upon bitches now transformed to wolves. Wow, I did not expect it to say ditch and then rhyme ditch with bitch. Wow, okay. That's a new one. Was not expecting that. Then, having sunk through many a stagnant lake, it finds out foxes that, so full of guile, fear not at all that they might be out-tricked. Nor shall I cease to speak since this one hears. It will be good for him if he attends to what true spirit here are not for me. I see your little nephew now become a hunter of those wolf packs on the bank. Of what fierce stream, and he confounds them all. He sells their flesh while this is still alive, then slays them like mere cattle past their prime. Many of life, himself of praise he robs. He comes out bloodied from that dismal wood, and leaves it so. 1,000 years from now, it won't rebranch and reach its primal state. I lurk while I sleep. Ah, thank you, daughter. Get some good rest. Lay your head down, as I said. Get some good rest. I hope you feel better. As at announcements of some grievous harm, Storm lurks in the shadows like a rogue. As at announcements of some grievous harm, whatever side the fangs of peril strike, the faces of those listening will grow grim. So did I see that Etha's soul who'd turned, setting his mind to hear, cloud and grow sad. In garnering up these words to his own heart, the speech of one and how the other looked made me the keener to be told their names. And so, with prayers as well I made request, at which the spirit who first spoke to me began once more, you'd have me bring myself to do for you what you'll not do for me. But since God wills that such a great grace should shine, though all your being, I'll not grudge you this. Know then, that I was Guido del Duca. My blood so fired itself with envious thoughts, that, if I saw some man transformed by joy, you'd then have seen me flushed to liver green. From such a sowing, I now reap the straws. You human creatures, repose your hearts, where you are damned, or you are banned from mutual exchange. This is Renere of the Calboli, the honor of that house, their pride. No one lays claim, as heir, to all his proven worth, nor has his blood alone, between the Po, the hill, the sea, and Reno, turned to waste. Stripped of the good that truth and pleasure need, for all within these confines now is full of poisonous thickers, so it's now too late for cultivation to reduce their grip. Where is good Licio, Erigo Mainardi, Pier Traversaro, and Guido di Copingna? O Romognulia, you're all bastards now. When in Bologna. Is that Bologna? No, that's Bologna. I think that's Bologna. When in Bologna is a Fabrio bread. When in Fiance a Bonadine di Fosco, branching so nobly from mere creeping words. Don't marvel, Tuscan, if you see me weep, when I call back to mind, with Guido Prato, Ugolin di Azo, who once lived with us. Frederick Tignoso and his circle too, the Traversero house, the Anastasians, these last two having no descendants now. The knights and ladies, all the toil and ease that love and courtesy once made us seek, where now all hearts are criminal and base. O Bretonoro, why not take the heel, since your whole family had gone its way, as others do, eluding vice and ignominy, Bagna Caval, it's good you don't read child, and bad for Casticado, far worse, Canio, so tangled up in childing worthless lords. The clan Pagani, once their demons gone, will do quite well, but not so well that pure account of them will ever now remain. O Ugolino of the Fantolines, your name is safe since none, demeaning you, is now expected who could dim your fame. But Tuscan, you had better pass along, to weep the lights me more than words now can. This talk has wrung my mind with such distress. We knew those well-loved souls could hear our tread. Therefore, their silence, as we went our way, gave us the confidence to take that path. So going on, when once we were alone, just like a thunderbolt that winds the air, a voice rang out towards us, saying this: "They'll murder me, whoever captures me," then fled like thunder when it fades away, the clouds abruptly being torn apart. Then, as our hearing gained some peace from that just sea, a second with as great a crash seemed then at once to follow that first peal. I am Aglorious, who became a stone, and then, to get up closer to the poet, I stepped not forwards, but towards the right. The air was quiet now, on every side, and that was the restraint. So Virgil said, that ought to keep mankind within due bounds. You take the bait, though, so the well-barbed hook of our old enemy will draw you in. The heavens wheel around and summon you, displaying to your eyes eternal charms, yet your gaze fixes merely on the ground. For that he strikes you down who sees all clear. I'm stretching and I'm stuck in a position. Stuck. Oh, okay, there we go. Ugh. Help step, bro. I was stretching and I got stuck. Oh, God, I just popped my knee. That felt good. Oh, God, I popped the other one, too. Oof. Remember to do your stretches, kids. Because sometimes you just never know what's gonna crack. In a good way, that is. I wonder if I can still do the cracking noise with my foot. No, not really. Let's see if the other foot will. Ah, oh, dang it. It's probably just because I actually walk around and do a lot at my new job now. So my like limbs aren't as cracking anymore. Which is probably for the best. All right. Let's get back to it. Canto 15. Much time as the childlike circle plays between the third hour at its ultimate and when the day had first begun to rise, remained, it seemed, till evening, for the sun to travel and complete its onward way. There it was vespers, midnight in our clime. The sun's rays struck us straight along the nose, for now the mountain had, by us, been turned so that we went direct towards the west. But then I felt my forehead weighed down by splendor far more bright than first there'd been. It dazed me, wondering at these untold things, and so, towards the peak of my two brows, I raised my hands and shaped myself a shield, to pair these two great visibles away. Compare, from water or reflective glass, a ray of light leaps back as opposite, rising exactly in the same degree, as tests in theory demonstrate, against a plumb stone line as when it first ascends, equal as measured from that vertical. It seemed that I was struck by some such light, that broke, reflected back ahead of me, causing my eyes in flight to speed away. My gentle father, what is this? I said. I can't protect my eyes from it enough. It moves, it seems, towards us all the time. Don't marvel, he replied to me, if you still the family of the heavens yet bedazzle you. This comes as messenger, to bide us climb, and soon to see such things as these will bring not stupor, but delight to you as great as you by nature are disposed to feel. And when we'd come to where the angel was, the blessed creature said in tones of joy, Enter this stair, less steep than those before. And climbing now, the angel left below, behind us, Beati Misericordis. And rejoice, you conqueror, was sung. Together, my teacher and I alone, proceeded upward, and, while going on, I thought I'd gain some profit from his words. So turned to him, demanding he should say, what did that spirit of Romagna mean to speak of mutual exchange and bands? He knows the damage done by his main flaws. Don't therefore be surprised, he said, if he chides us to lessen penitential tears. Because your human longings point to where portions grow smaller in shared fellowship. Meanness of mind must make the bellows sigh. If love, though, seeking for the utmost sphere, should ever wrench your longings to the sky, such fears would have no place within your breast. For there, the more that we can speak of ours, the more each one possesses of the good, and in that cloister, caritas burns brighter. I hunger more for satisfaction now than if, I said, you'd not said anything. I gather in my mind still greater doubt. How can it be that good distributed to many owners makes, in that respect, each one far richer than if few had shared? You thrust your mind, he answered, back down there and thinking still in terms of earthly things. You tease out darkness from the light of truth. The good that, infinite beyond all words, is there above will run to love-like rays, of light that come to anything that shines. It gives itself proportion to the fire, so that, as far as caritas extends, eternal worth increases over it. The more there are who fix their minds up there, the more good love there is, and more to love, and each, as might a mirror, gives to each. And if these words of mine don't slake your thirst, you'll see Beatrice, and she, and all, in full, will ease this craving, as shall others too. Press forward then, for these 5 wounds that heal. Be gone, as are by now the other 2. Intending here to say, you've fed me well. I saw that I had reached the upper ring, and there my eyes entranced now silenced me. For in a sudden seeing ecstasy, I was, it seemed, caught up and made to see a temple, many thronging all around. There at the door a lady stood who said, sweet in her manner as a mother is, why, dearest son, have you done this to us? Look at how, grieving, your father and I have searched for you. And she falling silent, what first appeared now disappeared from view. A second woman now appeared to me. Her cheeks were washed with streams that grief distills, when grief is born in us from angry scorn. If you, she said, are lord of that great place, whose name caused so much strife among the gods, yet from which all knowledge sparkles out, take vengeance on those hands, Pisistratus, that clasped our daughter in their rash embrace. That lord, to me, seemed mild and generous, intemperate in expression, answered her, what shall we do to those that wish us ill, if those that love are condemned by us? I saw next crowds inflamed in fires of wrath, all yelling out to all aloud, "Kill! Kill!" stoning a young man to the point of death. And he, I saw, bowed down towards the earth, as death imposed on him its heavy weight. Yet still he bore his eyes towards the skies, his look that look which opens pity's lock, praying in so much strife that heaven's Lord should pardon those who'd hunted him to death. When once my soul turned outwards once again, to beings truly there outside itself, I'd strayed, I saw, towards not false error. My leader, who could see that I behaved like someone who has just escaped from sleep, exclaimed, "What's wrong? Why can't you stand straight up? You've come along for half a mile or more, villing your eyes, your legs turned all askew, like someone in the grip of sleep or drink." "My dearest father, if you'll hear me out, I'll tell you what happened to me," I said, "during the times my legs were snatched from me. Had you 1,000 masks around your face, your thinking," he replied, "would not, to me, be hidden, even in the least degree? You've seen these things, so you'll have no excuse, if you don't give your heart to streams of peace which spread out from their everlasting source." I did not ask, "What's wrong?" as those might do who only see with eyes that do not see, staring at bodies that are drained of life, but rather asked to give your stride more strength. You need to prod the indolent like this, slow as they are to use their walking powers. Walking towards the setting sun, we stretched to see as far beyond as eyes could reach, against the brilliance of the evening rays. Then, bit by bit, a rising cloud of smoke, as then as night began to form ahead. There was no way for us to turn aside, if you took from us our eyesight and pure air. Ugh. Water time. Whew. Good stuff. Whew. Ooh, that's good water. I put a flavor packet that makes it taste like Gatorade, but it's not Gatorade. It's water that tastes like Gatorade, and I love it. Because then I don't have the bad aftertaste of Gatorade, which I don't know why. To me, Gatorade has such a terrible aftertaste, but it does. Ugh. Like, something about Gatorade just makes me think, like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It basically is like an aftertaste that tastes less like Gatorade and more like salt? Like sweet salt, if that makes sense. Canto 16. Darkness and hell, or any night stripped bare of planets under impoverished skies, a pall of clouds as dense as these could be, has never formed for me as thick a veil as did the smoke that now surrounded us, or stretched a reeve so rasping in its feel that eyes could not stay open to its touch. Therefore my guide, as ever wise and true, came to my side, his shoulder lending aid. And as a blind man goes behind his guide, for fear he'll wander or collide with things that might well maim him, or perhaps could kill, I too went on through acrid, filthy air, attending to my leader who would say, "Take care, don't get cut off," repeatedly. I now heard voices, and it seemed that each was praying to the Lamb of God, who takes all sin away, for mercy and for peace. The words they uttered first were Agnus Dei, the self-same text and tune from all of them, so that it seemed as heart they sang as one. "Are these all spirits, sir, that I can hear?" I spoke. He answered, "Yes, and that you're right, and anger is the knot they're working free." "And who are you, that cleave our smoke-filled air and speaks of us as though, if this could be you, still divided time by month and year?" Oh. These words were those that one voice uttered now, at which my teacher said to me, "Reply. Ask them if we can make our climb from here." And I, "My fellow creature, who now wash to go once more in beauty to your makers, you, if you follow close, will hear of wonders. I'll follow you as far as I'm allowed. And if," he said, "the smoke won't let us see, hearing instead will keep us closely joined." Still swaddled in the clothes that death dissolves, so I began. I make my way above, and come here from the agonies of hell. And if God circles me with such great grace, that I, as he desires, should see his court in ways beyond what men of our day know, then do not hide who you were till your death, but speak, and tell me, am I near the rise? Oh, that's good cocoa. One second. Neck has a pain again. Sorry, I'm trying to work on my posture by like sitting up, standing up, trying to get like my posture a little better. It's just that it's not easy. I was a Lombard, and my name was Mark. I knew the world and loved that noble worth, at which all now aim slack and unslung bows. To make your climb, just take the straight way on. He answered thus, and added then, "I pray that you should pray for me, when you're up there, when you are up there." And I to him, Through faith I bind myself to do what you demand, and yet I burst. If you will not explain which one great doubt, through simple to begin with, what you say has made doubt double now. That makes me sure I'm right to couple things are heard here and elsewhere. The world is, truly, as your words declare, a sterile place where every virtue fails. Pregnant with viciousness that blankets all, point me, I beg you, to the reason why, so I can see, and then show others too, some place the cause in stars some here below. A long deep sigh that grief dragged out to he uttered first, then brother he began. The world is blind, and yes, that's where you're from. You living there derive the cause of all straight from the stars alone. As if alone, years, or and justice fail in giving good its joy and grief its ill. The stars initiate your vital vital movement? Oh, your vital moves, and don't say all, and yet suppose I did. You're given light to know what's good and bad. And free will too, which if can endure beyond its early battles with the stars, and if it is nourished well, conquer all, of better nation, and of greater power. You are free subjects, and you have a mind that planets cannot rule or stars concern. So if the present proceeded... Wait. Words are getting mixed up in my head. So if the present world has gone astray, the reason lies in you, and you it sought, and I on your behalf will spy it out. Leaving the hand of him who holds it dear, before it truly is, it weeps and laughs. That little simple moan, or little simple soul in baby plays, as young girls do, and does not know a thing. Same only, as moved by a joyous maker, it willingly turns to every playful thrill. It rates the flavor, first, of some small good, and, fluid by this, it chases down its track, unless a break or guide bends such love back. So law is needed to apply this break. A king is needed with the skill to see. Wait, I lost my place. Oh yeah. So law is needed to apply this break. A king is needed with the skill to see the towers of that true city at the least. The laws are there. Who sets his hand to these? There's no shame. There's no laws here. There's no oh wait, there it is. There's no one from the shepherd out ahead, though he can true the cud, has not split hooves. Oh, this is a long one. It's a big boy. So people, when they see their leader snatch at those same goods that greedily they crave, graze on just those and do not seek beyond. So, as you may well see, bad government is why the world is so malignant now. It's not that nature is corrupting you. Once, Rome, which made the world for us pure good, had two suns in its sky, and these made known both roads to take. The world's and that of God. Our sun has snuffed the other power out. God, imagine walking through the desert and there's just two suns above you. I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm on Tatooine. Get me off of this sand hole. For once they're joined, there can't be mutual dread, where grass is known according to its seed. Before the Emperor Frederick was opposed, are in regions washed by Po and Adige. All courtesy and west could be found. Now anyone is safe to travel through. Okay, let's see. Now anyone is who might avoid from sheer embarrassment speech or encounters with good, honest men. There are, it's true, 3 old ones there in whom times now long gone rebuke the new. To them I'm granting better life. Where am I? Oh yeah. To them, in granting better life, God seems too slow. Corrado di Palazzo, good Sherrod, and Gildo di Castello, better named the honest Lambert, or Lombard, as French travelers do. So we can see this now, the Ocean Church. Oh wait, we can see as now the Church of Rome, by mingling in itself 2 forms of rule. Falls in the mud, befouling self and load. Dear Mark, I said, your argument runs well, and now I see why Levi's priestly sons were all excluded from inheritance. Dear Mark, I said, your argument runs well, and now I see why Levi's priestly sons were all excluded from inheritance. But who's that? Guittard, whom you say remains to speak reproaches to our salvage time? Your words are meant to rest, so he replied, or else to have me any other crew ever me have on. You're speaking Tuscan. We have no clue, it seems. About good Gettard. I know no other names by which he's known, unless I draw it from his daughter's name. Oh my god, oh my god. Or no, wait, that doesn't say. It says, my god go with you. I can't come along. You see that the bright pillar drawing through the smoke. Already brightening, I must now go back. The angel's there, before I've shown to him. He turned and would not hear me anymore. Alright, one more pair of stretches. Oh. That felt good. Whew. Sorry that I have to keep stretching. I keep on, like... Lately, reading books is very relaxing for me. And it gets me a little drowsy. Which does not help the fact that words lately, whenever I read them in book format with, like, lots of text, flip-flop. I don't know why lately that's been happening. Been weird. They've been, like, kind of flip-flopping all over the place, so I'll read something twice, or I'll see, like, God in one sentence and accidentally read it in, like, the sentence above. So, like, words are, like, flipping. It's weird. I don't know why it's happening, but it is. What is that called, though, when words flip-flop? Ah. Oh. So apparently this is just me having vision problems. Or at least I think. Let me see. I don't think I have dyslexia. How would you even know if you have dyslexia? Besides the fact that just when I read big book with lots of words, words flip and I lose my place. I more just sometimes think that that's me not paying enough attention to what I'm doing. That sometimes I just get drowsy from doing something and I mix up words. But I could be wrong. Maybe I've developed dyslexia. Reader recall... oh, wait, sorry. Canto 17. Reader recall, if ever in the hills, a fog has caught you so you couldn't see, or only as a mole does through its skin. Then how, as vapors, clinging damp and dense, begin to dissipate the sun's round disk, enters and feebly makes its way through these, from this you'll easily be brought to see. In your imagination, how I saw the sun again, already setting now. So, leveling with my teacher's trusted steps, I came out from that cloud, along with him, to raise down on the shore, already dead. Imagination, you at times will steal the outer world from us so we can't tell. Even if horns and thousands blare around, who makes you move when sense does not provide? It's light that moves you, formed in heavenly spheres, by will which guides its down, or else posse. The godless wrath of one who changed her form to be that bird which most delights in song, appeared and left its footprint on my brain. My mind was now so clenched upon itself that nothing was received within its bounds that might have come from outside or beyond. And then, within these high imaginings, one crucified rained down. He, in his gaze, was fierce and full of scorn, and, like that, died. Around him were the great Ahasuerus, Esther his wife, and honest Mordecai, who showed such probity in word and deed. This image of itself now burst, as might some rising bubble when the water fails, beneath the surface where it first filled out. And then, within my vision, there rose up a girl who, weeping fiercely, said, "Great Queen, why wish yourself as nothing in your wrath? To keep not lose Lavinia, you slew yourself. You've lost me now, dear mother. This is me. I mourn yours more than any other's doom, as sleep is shattered when some strange new light flickers, or new light strikes on the sudden, at our closed up eye, then flickers for a moment till it dies. So too, these images I saw crash down, as now a light struck hard against my face, greater by far than those to which we are used. I turned around to see where I might be, at which a voice spoke out, "You go up there." The distance to me from any other thought, and wrought in me that great desire to see who had said this to me, which won't admit of rest until we're face to face. But, as when the sun weighs heavy on our sight, and veils its shape in overwhelming glare, so did my inner powers at this fall short. This spirit is divine, before we've asked. It indicates the way to go above, and hides itself within the light it gives. It treats us as we look to treat ourselves. For those who see a need yet wait for prayers. For those... a need yet wait for prayers. Ill-willing stand ready to refuse. To this great succumb, let us tune our pace and strive to climb before the darkness falls. We cannot otherwise till day returns. So said my Lita, and, along with him, I turned my step to make towards a stair. As soon, though, as I reached its lowest tread, I felt close by of movement, as of wings. A fanning at my face in words, Pieti pacifici, or pacifici, of violent wrath there free. By now, the final rays, pursued by night, had risen over us, and gone so far, that stars in many parts appeared to view. My strengths and powers, why do you slip away? I said within myself. A truce, I feel, has been imposed upon my striding thighs. We'd got to where the stairway rose no more, and there we stuck, as fixedly as ships that beached themselves arriving at the shore. I waited for a while, in case I heard some sign in this new ring of anything. Then turning to my teacher, I said, "Now, my dearest teacher, tell me what offense is forged within the circle where we are. Our feet stand still. Don't let your words do so. The love of God," he said, "when this falls short of what it ought to be, is here restored. The oar that wrongly slackened strikes once more, but so you may more plainly understand. Turn, pay attention, and, from this short wait, you'll carry off some truly worthwhile fruit. Neither creator nor created thing was ever, dearest son, without," he starts, "the love of mind or nature. You know that. The other, though, may or, when wrongly aimed, or else through too much vigor or the lack, where mind love sets itself on primal ground or primal good, and keeps in secondaries a due control, it cannot be the cause of false delight." Oh. But when it wrongly twists towards the ill, or run towards the good too fast or slow, what's made then works against its maker's plan. Hence of necessity you'll understand that love must be the seed of all good powers, as too of penalties your deeds deserve. Now since love cannot turn its face away from that which greets it with promised health, all things are safe from hatred of themselves, and since no being can be understood as independent separate from the first, effects decidedly can't hate their source. Restat, if I've prepared the ground all right, the ill we love must be our neighbor's harm. Such love is born in 3 ways from your slime. Some hope, by keeping all their neighbors down, that they'll excel. They'll yearn for that alone, to see them brought from high to low estate. Then, some will feel that, if another mounts, they'll lose all honor, fame, and grace and power. So, grieving at success, love what it's not. In some it seems, when hurt, bears such a grudge that they crave only to exact revenge, which means they only seek to speed another's harm. This triformed love is wept for down below, but now I'd have you understand the next which runs in broken order after good. We all, confusedly, conceive a good, desiring that our hearts may rest in that, and each will strive to make their way to it, if love is slack in drawing you to view. Or when that good, then this ledge where we're now, after your fit repentance, martyrs you, and other goods will not bring happiness, not happy in themselves, nor that good source of being, seed and flower of all that's good. The love that gives itself too much to these is wept for in circles still above. But why? Tripartite, I shall not here say, so you can seek the reason for yourself. Alright. We got 2 more cantos to read before the stream is over. Which, honestly, it doesn't seem like these ones will be too bad. Because, you know, I think that's, well, actually, no, wait, we got 3 to read. 1, 2, yeah, 3. Never mind, we got 3 to read. Oh, the 20's kind of short. So yeah, we're on page 241. We need to make it to 256. So yes, I will be back for the next 16 pages after I quickly use the restroom once again. I return again, back from a break, and ready to take the next journey into the into the the lake. No, the make. Rhymes are hard. That great authority concluded here. Attentively, he looked me in the face, to see if I was pleased and satisfied, and I, a new thirst searching through my brain, was silent outwardly, but said within, too many questions may, perhaps, annoy him. He, though true father that he was, had seen this hesitant desire unopened yet, and speaking gave me courage to speak out. My power to see, I said, in your light, sir, grows bright, alive in me. So yes, I'm clear on every point your words define and stress. And so, my dear, kind father, I entreat that you expound for me that love to which you trace all good acts and their opposite. Direct on me, he said, your mind's sharp light, and I shall make quite evident to you the error of the blind, who claim they lead the mind which is created quick to love, when roused by pleasure into conscience act, will tend towards such things as give delight. From things that truly are, your apprehensio draws out an image which it then unfolds within you, so that mind turns round to it. If mind, once having turned, inclines to that, this bending is called love, and nature too, bound up in you afresh by pleasures not. And then, as fire moves upwards to the heights, by virtue of its form, it's born to rise, to where it may, as matter, most endure. So minds, when captured, pass into desire, a motion of the spirit that won't pause, until the thing it loves has yielded joy, from which, it is clear, you'll find how far truth hides from those who think it truth that all love is, in all its types deserving of our praise. Perhaps because its matter, seemingly, is always good, yet, grant the rax is good, the seal need not be so in every print. Your word, and, walking in their track, my wits, disclose to me what love is, I replied. Yet this, for me, gives birth to greater doubt. If love is just an offering from outside, and souls go forward on no other foot, then going right or wrong involves no merit. I can, as far as I reason sees, respond. Beyond that, faith's required, so he to me, and you must therefore wait for Beatrice. Forms of substantiality, distinct from matter, though at one with that, collect each one within itself specific powers. These powers, unless they act, are not perceived, nor are they known except by their effects. As life appears in plants when leaves are green, no one can, therefore, see from where there comes the sense of primal concepts that we have, nor our desire for primal desirables. These are in you, as is the origin bees to make their honey, and this primal will cannot be credited with blame or praise. To group all other wills around the forest, there is counseling power in it, in you, that's meant to guard the threshold of consent. Hell? Oh. No, phone. I'm reading. I'm reading things at the moment. I can't be out here looking at frickin' webtoons. Alex Pasta, redeem, get some sip. Oh, thank you, thank you. I will get some sip. I'm drinking blue water. That sounds really stupid. I meant the water is like actually blue, not that like blue water. Yes, yes. I know water's already blue, but like okay. Allow me to explain. It's blue, not like ocean blue. I'm talking like blue. Fuck. How would you explain blue? Never mind. Moving on. Back to Dante's and Dante's Purgatorio. I blame my hungover brain for not being able to come up with words. Where was I? I think I was just on the part where we were talking about Beatrice. Forms of substantiality, distinct from matter, though, at one with that, collect. Each one within itself, specific powers. These powers, unless they act, are not perceived, nor are they known except by their effects. As life appears in plants when leaves are green, no one can, therefore, see from where there comes the sense of primal concepts that we have, nor our desire for prime desirables. Oh, wait, this was where I was. You had to reread a few lines. These are in you, as is the origin bees, to make their honey, and this primal will cannot be credited with blame or praise. To group all other wills around the forced, there is counseling power in it, in you, that's meant to guard the threshold of consent. This is the principle from which derives the inward rationale of just desert, that stores or winnows good love from what's bad, and those who argued all things to the core took notice of this inborn liberty, and so bequeathed to us a moral rule. Suppose that love, then, of necessity, does rise in you. When once its fire begins, you have within the power to rein it back. This power, which Beatrice understands, is freedom of the will, and so take care that, if she speaks of it, it's in your mind. The moon at almost midnight, slow to rise, formed like a copper bucket burnished red, now made the stars seem fewer in the sky, and ran against the heavens around those roads, where sunlight flames when anyone in Rome observes it set between the sods and Corsicons, that noble shade for whom Pietola is named above all other Manthron towns, had now laid down the burden I'd imposed. So having harvested his plain, frank words, which answered all the questions I had, I stood like someone in a drowsy blank. But all such drowsiness was borne away by people who had suddenly appeared, swinging towards us from behind our backs, as once the Aesop in Ensiminus saw, whenever Thebans needed Bacchus's aid, orgies at night, feet pounding by their banks. So here, from what I saw as these came on, they too ran scything around the mountain's curve, spurred on and ridden by good love and will. Soon they were on us, for they moved at speed, racing towards us, that great multitude, and two ahead were shouting, weepingly. Maria hastens up to Juta's heel, and Caesar, bringing Larita to heel, struck at Marcellus, and then ran into Spain. Quick, quick, let's lose no time through lack of love. So all of those behind now shouted out, for zeal in doing good turns grace new green. You people, whose keen fervor now repays some negligence or else delay of yours, through tepidness in acting for the good. This man, he's living, and I tell no lie, desires, when sunlight shines on us again, to go on up, so where's the closet gap? These were the words my leader spoke to them, and one among these spirits now replied, Come, follow us, and you'll soon find that hole, full of desire to move ourselves along. We cannot pause, and therefore pardon us, if what for us is right seems crass and wrong. When Barbarossa ruled, that good, true lord of whom Milan still speaks with pain and grief, I, at Verona, was San Zeno's dom. And there's a man with one foot in the grave, who will bitterly bewail that abbey soon, and grieve the power that he had over it. But he, where one true shepherd should have been, has placed his son, diseased throughout his frame, and worse than sicken in mind, a bastard born. He'd run so far beyond us by this time. I don't know if his words went on or ceased. This much I heeded and would gladly keep, and he who helps me in my every need, said now, turn around and look at these two here, who, fast approaching, put the bite on sloth. Behind the rest these two were calling, first before the river Jordan saw their hairs. All those for whom the sea had opened died, and those who couldn't bear until the end the labor that Anchises' son endured, submitted to a life where honor lacked. Then, when these shades had split so far from us that neither any more could be observed, a new thought itself within my mind, from which were born yet other, differing thoughts. And so I wandered around from this to that, and, dozing off, I gladly closed my eyes, transforming all my thinking into dream. Let me flip to the map. Part of me's like, was that lust? Was that why they were having an orgy? Shit, fam. We on lust? I would have thought lust would have been in hell, but... Oh no, lust is the very top, right before the Garden of Earthly Paradise. Love wrongly directed? Oh, right, this is love of earthly good, so it's not lust as in, the lustful as in circle 2 of hell. It's lusting after earthly goods. So not like lust as in sex, lust as in, well, kind of greed. Because there's avarice, but I don't know if there's greed. Is avarice greed? Hold on, let's look this up. Avarice definition. Extreme greed for wealth or material gain. So yes, okay. So avarice is just another word for greed. So is this is like there's love wrongly directed. So are we on envy? Because that's not anger. There's no way people are having an orgy out of anger. Unless I'm just misunderstanding what they meant by orgy. Oh god, I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? This is gonna pop up with something bad on Google. Please, for the love of God, Google, do not curse me here. Which canto was that? 18? Yeah, that was canto 18. Okay, I want to see. Dante's Purgatorio. Canto 18. Bum 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 bum. Okay, so they didn't mean a literal orgy. It was more of like an orgy of love, as in like everybody was sharing love around instead of holding it back. So they were all, instead of like how we can basically say like I love you to somebody, but we can then just decipher that we don't love somebody, we might just like them, or we might just think they're a friend, but not exactly like a friend that you love kind of deal. It was basically saying that the people who were having an orgy weren't making love, they were just passing love amongst each other. So basically, it was just a bunch of people literally just pleading with one, like literally just screaming at one another. I love you. No, I love you. No, I love you. I love you. I love you. Damn it. Fuck you. I love you more. And that was what it was. The more you know. This is why I like reading streams. We're able to just look up fun facts about the book we're reading. Like, that there's another definition of orgy that isn't just tons of people fucking. It can also just be a bunch of people screaming at each other that they love each other. Which, honestly, as the asexual person, I would rather be in an orgy where it's just a bunch of people screaming, I love you, than an orgy where a bunch of people are fucking. Mostly because, no, I don't want a part of that. Keep the sex away from me. I get enough of that in anime, manga, and video games. I don't need that in real life. Keep it away from me. Canto 19. Now, at that hour when daytime heat cannot, vanquished by earth and sometimes Saturn's ray, sustain its warmth against the chilling moon, When geomancers in the east trace out, before the dawn, their signs of greater fortune, the path these climb is only briefly dark. There came, dreaming, to me a stammering crone, cross-eyed and crooked on her crippled feet, her hands mere stumps, and drained and pale in look. I gazed at her, then as to frozen limbs, when night has weighed them down. The sun gives strength. Likewise my staring made her free, long-tongued, to speak, and drew her in the briefest space. Erect in every limb, giving the hue that love desires to her blurred, pallid face. And once her powers of speech were thus untied, she then began to sing, so I could not, except with pain, have drawn my eyes away. I am, she sung, I am the lovely siren, so full of pleasure to the ear my tune, that marines I magic in mid-ocean, and Ulysses entranced to hear my chant. I turned, of course. Rarely do those who've learned my ways depart. I bring them full content. And then, before that mouth closed up once more, a lady, wholly in alert, appeared, and, at my side, she crushed the other's power. Virgil, oh Virgil, in the harshest tones, who's that? She said, and he approached, eyes set, unwavering on her true nobility. He seized the siren, ripping down her dress, opened the front of her, displayed her guts, and that, with all its stench, now woke me up. Wow, they really just gutted someone. That's a lot. The person's trying to seduce us with magical powers. Well, there's only one way to solve this. Unnecessary violence. Cut her open. I swung my eyes around. 3 times at least I voiced this come. My trusted teacher spoke. Get up. Let's find an opening you can take. Up I now got, and all the circles round the holy hill were full of highest day. We went along, the new sun at our backs. Now following in his track, I bore my brow as people do when, loaded down with thought, they make themselves the half-arch of a bridge. And then I heard, come on, the crossing's here, spoken in tones more soft and generous than ever could be heard in mortal shires. With opening wings as seemingly a swan's, the one who'd spoken turned us to the heights between 2 walls within the granite rock. He moved his feathers, and he fanned us both, affirming that qui lugint are the blessed. To them the gift of consolation comes. What's got to you? You still stare at the ground, when once beyond the angel, climbing on? These were the words with which my guide began. I'm made to make my way in so much doubt by that weird vision, which so wraps me up I just can't leave off thinking back to it. You saw, he said to me, the ancient witch. For her the penitents above us weep. You saw how men are loosened from her grip. Let that suffice. So strike your heels to earth and turn your eyes to see the lore that's spun in mighty wheels by one eternal king. A falcon, forced, looks down towards its feet. Then, being called, will turn and stretch full length, drawn by desire to reach the offered food. And so did I, through one split span of rock, which served as entrance to the upward path. I went to where the ring above begins, now loosened out on to circle number 5. I saw their people all around who wept, each turned face downwards lying on the earth. Wait, circle 5? Might that give me a hint of where we are? 2, 3. I think we have reached anger. Unless 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we might be on Terrace 3, which is anger. Adhasit pavimento anima me. I heard them saying this, but sighing deep, so what they said was hardly understood. You chosen ones of God whose sufferings are, by hope and justice, made less hard to bear. Direct me to the steep way we must climb. If you come here exempt from lying flat, and wish to find the quickest way ahead, your right hands will be always to the out. This was the poet's prayer, and thus, a bit ahead of us, the answer came, and I, on hearing this, knew where the rest were hid. I turned my eyes to meet my Lord's own eyes, and he assented with a happy sign to what my face displayed as its desire. So, being free to act as I saw fit, I drew myself across and stood above. That being whose words had forced me note, saying, "You spirit who, in tears, matures that without which no soul can turn to God." For my sake, leave awhile your greater care. Who were you? Tell me that, and why you've turned your backs above, and what you'd have me beg on your behalf, returning whence I moved. Why heaven should turn our rears against itself you'll shortly know, he said to me. But first, scios credor ego throi successor petri. I'm probably butchering those, but in my defense, they're written in a different language. The only other language I speak is very small parts of German and very, very, very tiny sports of Japanese. Between Sithri and Shirveri, a lovely stream descends, and from its name my blood derives the height of all its claims. A month, no more than that, I knew the weight of keeping papal garments from the mud. Compared with that, all loads are feather light. My own conversion was, alas, too late. And yet, made shepherd of the Roman flock, the lies of life revealed themselves to me. I saw the heart will never rest in these, and I could not rise higher in that life. So love of this life then caught fire in me. I was, until that point, a wretched soul, divorced from God. My all was averse, and I am punished, as you see, for that. What avarice will do is now made clear, through penance in these souls, inverted so. The mountain has no pain more harsh than this. Because our eyes were fixed on earthly things, at no point raised to look towards the heights, so justice sinks them here within the earth. Since avarice extinguished all our love for any good, and so good works were lost, justice here holds us tight within its grip. We're captives, bound at both our hands and feet, and here stretched out, unmoving, we shall stay, as long as our just Lord may think it right. Yo, guys. Why is my finger glowing yellow? I must be hitting like a certain kind of like frame of light between the shadow of my finger and the page of the book because it's yellow. That's wild. I'd fallen to my knees and meant to speak, but he, as soon as I'd begun, took note, simply on hearing my respectful bow. What makes you twist like that? He said to me, and I to him. Aware of your high rank, my conscience bit me when I stood erect. Strengthen your knee, my brother. Just get up. Make no mistake. I am, along with you and all, co-servant of one single power. If ever you have heard aright the sound of holy gospel in the Crenubint, then you can see why I should argue thus. Now go away, I'd not delay you more. You stand there, upset the tears I shed, by which I ripen penance, as you said. I have down there a niece, her name's Algia, good in herself, provide that our house does not, by bad example, make her worse, and she alone is left of me back there. Okay, actually, it seems Canto 20 is actually really long. It's like 5 pages. So, I think, with the fact that we got through at least, let's see, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wait, no, wait, yeah. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, we got through 8 cantos. Did we really? Hold up. Huh. Okay. I actually did make it to the next part there. All right. So yes, we actually did make it through quite a few cantos, meaning I don't feel too bad about ending here. Which means, allow me to see who we can raid on into. I know exactly who we raid on into. It has been a little while since my VTuber father has streamed. For they have been having allergies. So, we shall raid on into the wonderful, wonderful Mystic Mystic CH. But, you know, we'll just say Mystic. It's easier that way. But yes, thank you all so much for coming, and I hope to see you all next time. Until then, please, get some rest, sleep well, and do not let Dante haunt you for too long. For remember, this man was not a good poet, he was just a very good biblical fan fiction writer, who was exiled because he chose the wrong side in a pope war. So always remember, At least you're not Dante, and you haven't been exiled for choosing the wrong side in a Pope War. Bye-bye!